Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. I've had the recording notice up on the screen for just a few minutes. So this meeting will be recorded and it will be posted to our website within the next few days. So this meeting is about our 2024 9% application workshop. We'll be going over our application and the documentation required to submit an application for the 9% program. In the room we have today, our staff here, we have Amy Harmon, Robin Smallwood, Mitch Nance, and Chris McMillan. We're going to be using the raise the hand feature. So when we get ready for questions and comments, if you'll please raise your hand and we'll call on you and you can unmute yourself at that time. And then we'll let you ask your question or comment. Please do not submit any questions in chat. We won't be reading those. If you have questions you want to submit in writing, please submit those to our tax credit questions at sehousing.com email address, and we'll answer those questions as quickly as we can. One thing everyone I'm sure is dying to know is we are almost through reviewing our preliminary applications and the point scores for those. We just have a few more left to review. We hope to have those posted later this week. If not, it'll be early next week. We'll have those scores posted to the website. Okay, so some upcoming dates. So the full application or the final application is due May 20th through 24th. We are looking to schedule our 2025 developer roundtable to discuss the QAP in June. We're looking for dates in June for that. And in July, we should have our final scores posted for our 9% application. For the most current information, please visit our website, sehousing.com. This is where we keep all the current information. When we make a change or an update or a clarification to the QAP, we will update the QAP and put a date beside that we posted it. The very first page of the QAP will show that clarification and any clarification we've made since it was signed by the governor's office. So that will be there. We will also be posting the syndication rate and the amount of federal and state tax credits we'll have available. We should be posting that by the end of this week, and that will be done as an update. We'll send out an e-blast, and it'll be done as an update on the first page of the QAP. So today we're going to be going over completing an application, the application checklist, how to upload the application, the checklist, and all the required documentation. And we'll also be talking about overnighting, the hand delivering or wiring or ACH of the application fees. All this information is due by May 24th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So wiring instructions, they're available upon request. We have not changed our wiring instructions. If you use those for the prelim application, those wiring instructions have not changed. Please do not forget that there is a $35 fee for any wire or ACH. Please include the $35 fee when sending the wire or ACH. And if you need wiring instructions, you can email us at taxcreditquestions@sehousing.com. Again, these fees must be received by 5 p.m. Eastern on May 24th. Some companies require that the wiring instructions be confirmed, and you can contact Robin or myself to confirm those wiring instructions. How to submit an application. Many of you know how to do this. This is our third year of submitting applications this way, but I'm going to briefly go over it real quick. You go to our website, sehousing.com. You go to the Business tab, and then you click on the Secure File Exchange. You'll simply log in. If you've not registered, you'll need to register, but you do not need to register every time. You can once you have a login and password, you can go forward from there. You'll click Submit File once you're logged in. This screen will pop up, and you will select from department. You want to select Development Low Income Housing Tax Credits. It's very important that you select that. That way I get the notification that the application has been submitted. You want to choose your file. off your screen, off your computer. We ask that these files are zipped. We ask that you have one main file zipped and all the other tabs behind that zipped file. Please do not zip the individual tabs. Due to the size of the application, you may have to submit more than one file. And if that's the case, you want to let us know that under the document type. So here I have my development name, and then it's my application. So if you're having to submit two because of the size, you want to do part 1 of 2 and part 2 of 2. And then once you have that information, your file chosen and your information in, you want to select upload. When we open your zipped file, it should look like this. It should say tab 1 in application, tab 2 and the application fees, tab 3, all the way down to tab 23. Again, you may have to upload 2 zip files due to the size of some of the documents, but we ask that you only zip the main folder, that we do not zip the individual folders. And again, it is very important that you select the department low income housing tax credits. I will not get notification of your application being received without that being selected. Once you've submitted the file, you will see, your screen will give you a notification and confirmation that it's been uploaded. And you'll also get an email that says your application has been uploaded. I will receive an email on my end that says your application has been uploaded, but this is your confirmation that your application has been uploaded. Any questions about submitting an application in the Secure File Exchange? Don't see any hand raised. I just want to remind you that the applications, again, are due May 24th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is the application and the fees for the application. And would like to encourage you not to wait till Friday afternoon to submit the application. Sometimes due to the size of the application, it does take a few minutes for it to upload and come through. And I want to make sure everyone has their information submitted by 5. So please do not wait to the last minute. We're going to talk about our tax credit application, the application checklist, and the forms and exhibits that goes along with our application. And if you'll bear with me for just a second, I'm going to switch my screen to show you the application. Okay, should be an Excel application. Okay, so this should be the very first page of the Excel application. We have not changed this application really at all from 2022, from the tax exempt bond applications that were received in December of 2023. We did, however, kind of restructure this very first section here where it says application information. So again, this is for our 9% program. So you want to select 9% tax credits. And if you're requesting state tax credits, you want to make sure you select that box as well. So you want to make sure you select the 9% tax credit and the state tax credits if you're asking for state tax credits. Then you would select the type, new construction or rehab. And then if you're in the SCDOT set aside, you want to select this box here, or if you're going for the innovation set aside, you want to select here. This is really the only change that we've made to our application in the last 2 years. And just wanted to pause here for a second to see if anyone had any questions about the application. I don't see any questions. If you have one, we can come back to that in just a little bit. I'm going to share my, change my screen again. Give me just 1 second. Okay, should be seeing the application checklist, Exhibit A. So we're going to go over this real quick. Again, not much has changed since 2022, but just kind of wanted to go over this information. So tab 1, of course, is the application, and we want that both in Excel and PDF format. We also, this is where you would also put your voluntary waiver of the QC process. If you are getting points for that, you need to put your waiver in tab 1 as well. Tab 2 is where you would notify us about your fees. If it's a check, you send in a check, if you hand delivered a check or overnighted a check, if you put a copy of the check in there. And if it's a wire, if you put your confirmation or the request that you had, that you sent to the bank to request that, so we'll be able to match that wire confirmation up with that banking information. And please do not forget when you're sending your wire, the $35 fee. I know I've said that a couple of times, but you'd be surprised. Okay, so next would be the application checklist, which is this form here. Tab 4 would be your attorney opinion letters. Tab 5 would be your entity information. And again, we have not made any changes to any of these forms. Tab 6 would be your nonprofit information. Tab 7 would be your entity agreement. Tab 8 would be your previous tax credit participation. And we did make a slight change to Exhibit Y, and I have that to go over in just a second. But just note that you need the Exhibit Y, and you need a copy of the certificate for the lead contact person. That's the only two things we would need for that would be the, we do not need the management plan at this time. Tab 9 would be your architect and engineer certification. Tab 10 is site control. 11 is zoning. 12 is if you're an acquisition rehab. And then 13 is your utility allowance, and we do have a copy of the sample utility allowance on our website. Tab 14 is the physical needs assessment, and we did make some changes to the Exhibit R, and I also have that to go over in just a few minutes. We added a spot for you to add the amount of the cost for the interior work being done to the property, and we'll go over that in just a minute. Tab 15 is the market study. The Exhibit S2 in prior years was done in PDF format. It's in Excel format. We've got a lot of feedback that would be easier for the market study analyst to use, so we left that in Excel format. Tab 16 is the environmental tab. Tab 17 is the development targeting extended use characteristics tab. 18 is your financing tab. 19 is your appraisal. 20 is your syndication information. And again, if you are doing state and federal tax credits, you want to get a syndication letter for both. And then also, if you're asking for state tax credits, please review the requirements on page 2 of Exhibit C3, because we'll need to know a narrative. We need a benefit for the tenants. We'll need to know why the tax credit is essential for the financial feasibility of the project, and we'll need to provide evidence of local support. So that's also on page 2 of Appendix C3. So if you have any questions about that, please read over that. Tab 21 is our other opinions and certifications. Tab 22 is our plans. And tab 23 is a scoring template, and we're going to go over that in just a second. But this is for the scoring template, is for new construction only. The prelim, the rehab applications, their scoring was done at prelim application. Next is our scoring template. Again, this is for new construction applications only. The top part of this form, you'll have your point scores once we post those. We'll list those out like we have in years past, what point item, what the amount you got for each item. And so you'll just complete that based off of the list that we post to the website. And then we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the page. And this is very similar to last year. You will add your points for the rest of the application, which would be the income limits, your voluntary waiver of the QC, whether or not you're using other tax credits. And we did have on the application checklist an Exhibit OC for other credits. That form is currently in draft phase, and we will have that out here shortly. It will be very similar to our Exhibit C. We'll have that on our website within the next few days. Next is the sustainability and the green points. So that would be, if you're giving that, would be 5 points for there. Then your leveraging points, and then your revitalization. Revitalization, you can only get up to 10 points. You either get up to 10 points, or then you can select the letter detailing the measures taken by local government to increase the housing affordability for 5 points. So it's one or the other, it's not both. And then you also get your points for supportive housing. The next document I want to go over is Exhibit R. This is our physical needs assessment certification. So we just simply added this last section here that says a total of, and then this is where you put the cost that it is for the interior of the unit, that the assessor who completed the physical needs assessment would put that information in there. That's the only thing we added to that form, and it is a minor change. And then our next document is our Exhibit Y. This is our management experience. In our QAP, we ask for the management plan 12 months after the allocation date, and we wanted you to note that we put that there. And that we only need this exhibit and a copy of their certificate for the LIHTC compliance specialist that works for the management company. You would put their information, you'd put who they're certified by here, and then we're going to have them sign it, and you would put the copy of the certification in the application. Those were the only changes that we made to our documents this year and the application checklist. I wanted to stop here to see if anyone had any questions.
There was a question from Rachel Sullivan. When will final prelim scores be posted?
So those will be posted hopefully by the end of this week, if not early next week. Any questions regarding the application or the checklist, how to upload the application, anything about our 9% application round coming up?
Mute yourself.
Jen, go ahead with your question.
Hey, I didn't know if you saw my message in chat. The S2, you said you have changed it to an Excel document. Do you want us to upload that only as an Excel? Or would you like it as PDF format as well?
Either one. Typically, it's uploaded inside the market, or it's put inside the market study. So it would be in PDF with the market study, but you can upload an Excel form if you'd like.
Thank you.
Laura Nicholson. Did you have a question?
Sorry, I was on mute. You mentioned that you were posting the syndication rate shortly. The QAP also mentions that the survey is going to be done for the permanent debt interest rate, as well as the maximum tax credits per unit. Will you be posting those two items shortly as well?
Yes, they'll all go out together.
Okay. And then the only other question I had, you did mention that geotechnical reports are due with the full application, but Appendix B, which is the design criteria, says that those are due with the full plans and specs, I think 10 months after reservation. And I know for anyone that could possibly be looking at getting either home funds, CDBG funds, or any type of HUD financing, that creates a choice limiting action and cannot be undertaken if you're seeking federal funds. So I know that you and I have talked about it, but I just wanted to throw that out there, that anyone trying to get federal funds should not be able to do the geotechnical.
Thank you. I appreciate you bringing that up, and I skipped right over my note when we went over the application checklist. So we will be updating the Appendix B to reflect that the geotechnical is due at application. So we have, I did get your comment on that, and I do apologize for that mistake, but we did add that into the 2023 QAP for it to be due at application, and it is in the 2024, so I will be updating the Appendix B. And again, if we make any changes or updates or clarifications to our application, to our QAP or any of our appendix, we will send out an e-blast, and it'll also be updated, and we'll put a date beside the document that we updated it. So we'll send an e-blast, a notification for you to go and check that document to see what that update is. So just wanted to throw that out there as a reminder as well. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Laura. Any other questions?
Mary Ann, go ahead with your question, please.
You may have to unmute
Please
yourself.
unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, I was muted. When are you going to publish the total amount of credits that will be available in this round?
So we'll be publishing that by the end of the week. It'll be an
Okay.
update and an e-blast going out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It'll be both federal and state tax credits that we'll be posting.
Jay Bernstein, go ahead with your question, please. Unmute.
All right, thank you very much. Question on the credits per unit. Is that going to vary per pool? In other words, is the new construction group A going to be different from the SCDOT and be different from the group B general new construction pool?
Yes, it should vary by pool.
Thank you.
Sarah, go ahead with your question, please.
Thank you. I think I had two questions, but I think one just got answered about the total credits that will be available. But then my other question is the innovation set aside. Is that still going to be that you can elect to check the innovation set aside, and then it is up to the authority to determine on whether or not anybody qualifies for it? And if you don't qualify for it, then you still will remain in either group A or group B?
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Holly Douglas, go ahead with your question, please.
Yes, thank you. I was going to ask whether or not the operating reserve, typically we fund simultaneous with closing the permanent loan. And as written, it says it needs to fund prior to 8609s, but we generally get 8609s before closing as well. So I just want to make sure I understand that, because it would change the way we do a lot of our installments. If that makes sense.
Thank you for that comment. We need to look into that, and if we need to make any changes, we'll update the QAP and let you know. Thank you.
Drew Schomburg, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, the mold report for rehabs, what is the extent of the testing required? We've done spot testing in existing properties, and it's about, I don't know, 1,000 a unit sometimes for mold testing in a unit. So just looking if that is now a requirement for the app. Yeah, it could be a huge, if it's every unit, I don't know if they have a standard. I know Radon has, typically a couple units per building on the ground floor, but I'm unaware if there's a mold standard. I guess we'll find that out, but what scope are you all going to be looking for if you got a 100-unit property? How many units to be tested?
I'm gonna ask that you submit that question to the tax credit questions mailbox so that we can post that question and the response to that.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Give it just a second. I know we went over everything very quickly this morning. We did not have many changes from 2022 or from the tax exempt bond round in 2023 to now, so there might not be many questions, but just wanted to give everyone a second to answer any questions that they may have, ask any questions that they may have. I don't see any hands raised, so we're going to wrap up the workshop for today. Just a reminder that the applications are due May 24th through 25th. May 20th through 24th. They're due by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We need both the application and all the documentation and the fees to be to us by 5 p.m. If you have any questions, they need to come to the tax credit questions at sehousing.com mailbox. And I believe I saw a hand raised. Okay. I couldn't see who it was. Oh, no, there's no other hand raised. I'm sorry. I apologize. No other hands are raised. Okay. With that being said, we'll wrap the call up. I greatly appreciate your time today. Hope you have a great day, and we look forward to receiving your applications in May. Thank you.